Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Naresh Magho and with me is Reshma Tiwari with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is participating in DGP and IGP conference in Lucknow. Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot to reshuffle his cabinet this evening. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh commissions INS Visakhapatnam at Naval Dockyard in Mumbai, says India's defence sector is becoming more self-reliant. Over 116 crore 50 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.3%. 52nd International Film Festival of India gets underway in Goa. In Myanmar, military government rejects unanimous resolution adopted by Third Committee of 76th United Nations General Assembly. And in cricket, India take on New Zealand in third and final T20 match in Kolkata this evening. As India created history by administering over 110 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, All India Radio salutes all the doctors, nurses, other frontline workers and all those who got vaccinated and made this possible. Even though the country has achieved this feat, we caution our listeners that the battle against COVID is not yet over. We appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and also help others get vaccinated. Please follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask. Maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing and focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is participating in the annual conference of Director Generals of Police (DGP) and Inspector Generals of Police (IGP) in Lucknow for the second day today. Mr. Modi attended all sessions of the conference yesterday. In a tweet, the Prime Minister had termed the conference as an important forum in which extensive deliberations are taking place on modernization of Indian police setup. The conference was inaugurated by Union Home Minister Amit Shah on Friday. The conference is being held in the hybrid format. DGPs of states and union territories and heads of Central Armed Police Forces and Central Police Organizations are attending the conference physically at the venue in Lucknow, while the remaining invitees are participating virtually from 37 different locations at IB and SIB headquarters. The conference is discussing a wide range of issues, including cybercrime, data governance, counter-terrorism challenges, left-wing extremism, emerging trends in narcotics trafficking, and prison reforms, among others. More from our Lucknow correspondent.
Since 2014, the Prime Minister has taken a keen interest in the DGP conference. Unlike the symbolic presence earlier, he makes it a point to attend all sessions of the conference and encourages free and informal discussions that provide an opportunity to top police officials to directly brief the Prime Minister on key policing and internal security issues affecting the country. As per the vision of Prime Minister, since 2014, the annual conferences, which used to be customarily organized in Delhi, have been organized outside Delhi, with an exception of the year 2020, when the conference was held virtually. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
In Rajasthan, the first cabinet reshuffle of the Gehlot government will be held at 4 this evening. Governor Kalraj Mishra will administer oaths to 15 ministers. Among them, there are 12 new faces, while 3 ministers of state of the existing Council of Ministers will be promoted and sworn in as cabinet ministers. Here is more from our Jaipur correspondent.
There were a total of 21 ministers in the Gehlot Council of Ministers. Among them, Dr. Raghu Sharma, Harish Chaudhary and Govind Singh Dotasara have resigned. Dr. Sharma is in charge of Gujarat, while Harish Chaudhary is in charge of Punjab Congress. Govind Singh Dotasara is the state president of the party. In this way, new MLAs are being included in the 12 vacant seats in the Gehlot cabinet. Out of the 6 MLAs who joined the Congress from BSP, Rajendra Guda is also taking taking oath as a minister. But none of the 13 independent MLAs supporting the government are getting a berth in the Council of Ministers. 3 of the 15 ministers taking oath today are women. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
Over 116 crore 50 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. In the last 24 hours, more than 67 lakh 25,000 vaccine doses were administered. Over 10,000 new COVID-19 cases were reported in the last 24 hours, while over 12,000 people recovered. 313 people lost their lives during this period. Till now, more than 3 crore 39 lakh people have recovered from COVID-19. The Union Health Ministry said the COVID recovery rate in the country now stands at 98.3%, which is highest since March last year. India's active caseload stands at over 1,22,000, which is the lowest in 532 days. Over 10,74,000 COVID tests were conducted yesterday. So far, 63 crore 16 lakh tests have been conducted in the country. A new feature, Know Your Vaccination Status, has been enabled on the CoWIN digital platform. This will help to verify or retrieve a citizen's vaccination status and details as per the authorized rights of the verifying entity by CoWIN and the Health Ministry. The service could be utilized by a service provider for facilitating a service requested by the citizen. The Union Health Ministry in a statement said that the service can be utilized by travel agencies, making travel safe for individuals by allowing travel only for vaccinated individuals. Employers can use this service to verify the vaccination status of employees and resume the functions in offices and workplaces.
The World Health Organization has said it is worried about the spread of COVID-19 in Europe as the continent battles a fresh wave of infections. Speaking to a news channel, Regional Director Dr. Hans Kluger warned that 500,000 more deaths could be recorded by March unless urgent action is taken. He said an increase in mask wearing could immediately help, besides getting vaccinated and using COVID passes. Meanwhile, fresh unrest has erupted in the Netherlands against new lockdown rules amid rising COVID-19 cases. The Netherlands imposed a 3-week partial lockdown last Saturday after recording a record spike in COVID cases. Thousands of demonstrators also took to the streets in Austria, Croatia and Italy as anger mounted over the new curbs. In Croatia, thousands marched in the capital Zagreb to show their anger at mandatory vaccinations for public sector workers, while in Italy, thousands of protesters gathered at the ancient Circus Maximus chariot-racing ground to oppose Green Pass certificates required at workplaces, venues and on public transport. The Ganga Expressway, an ambitious project of Uttar Pradesh government connecting Meerut to Prayagraj district, has got the environmental clearance. Projects covered under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change notification of 2006 need to get environmental clearance before work under the project can be started. The clearance has paved the way for the construction of what is being touted as the longest expressway in the country. More than 90% land acquisition work for the expressway is complete. The tendering process for the 594-kilometer Ganga Expressway project has already started. The estimated cost of the project is 36,230 crore rupees. The expressway will start at Bijauli in Meerut district from the Meerut-Bulandshahr highway and conclude at the Prayagraj bypass near the Judapur Dandu village in Prayagraj district.
Union Minister of Education Dharmendra Pradhan has said the provisions of the National Education Policy NEP 2020 will be implemented in the northeastern states at the earliest and would provide multidisciplinary and holistic education in the local languages or in the mother tongue of a student at the early stages of learning. The minister attended the Northeast Education Conclave in Guwahati to discuss and deliberate on various aspects of NEP 2020 and develop a roadmap for successful implementation in this region. Mr. Pradhan added, this NEP has given a new pathway on mother tongue. Every language will get its importance and it will prove that diversity of our language is the unifying factor of our civilization. Minister of State for Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions, Dr. Jitendra Singh, has clarified that joint bank account is not mandatory for spouse pension. The minister said that all agency banks which are disbursing central government pension have been advised that in case the spouse opts for the existing joint bank account for credit of family pension, the banks should not insist on opening a new account. Dr. Singh added that a joint bank account with spouse is however desirable and it is to be opened with their spouse. He pointed out that the reason for opening a joint bank account is to ensure that family pension may be commenced without any delay and to ensure minimum documentation for the family pensioner.
The Tribal Affairs Ministry has said that construction of Eklavya schools was put on fast track after Prime Minister Narendra Modi laid the foundation of 50 schools on Janajatiya Gaurav Divas as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav on the 15th of this month virtually from Bhopal. These schools are being set up in 26 districts of 7 states and 1 union territory. They are located in hilly and forest areas of the country and benefit tribal children inhabiting in the remotest areas of the country. Mr. Modi had announced that 740 Eklavya model residential schools will be set up across India, each block with more than 50% ST population and at least 20,000 tribal persons will have such schools. In Surkhiyon Mein, the News Services Division of All India Radio will bring an exclusive interview with Chairman of National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority Kamlesh Kumar Pant on making the medicines and medical devices affordable for citizens.
Medical devices are also drugs, so there are very broadly speaking 2 kinds of medical devices in that sense. One is the scheduled one and the non-scheduled ones. Same principle applies. Scheduled medical devices which are in the NLEM, which are in schedule, we give ceiling prices for them, and non-scheduled medical devices, we monitor their prices and we don't allow more than 10% price increase in a period of 12 months.
This special program can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 7:40 p.m. onwards. This will also be available on our website newsonair.com and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is participating in DGP and IGP conference in Lucknow. Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot to reshuffle his cabinet this evening. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh commissions INS Visakhapatnam at Naval Dockyard in Mumbai, says India's defence sector is becoming more self-reliant. Over 116 crore 50 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.3%. 52nd International Film Festival of India gets underway in Goa. In Myanmar, military government rejects unanimous resolution adopted by 3rd Committee of the 76th United Nations General Assembly. And in cricket, India to take on New Zealand in 3rd and final T20 match in Kolkata this evening. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
In a major boost to the Indian Navy, INS Visakhapatnam was commissioned today by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh at the Naval Dockyard in Mumbai. It is the first stealth-guided missile destroyer ship of Project 15B and a crucial step for the Navy to demonstrate its indigenous capability to build complex combat platforms. The destroyer is capable of enhancing the Navy's capacity and firepower to battle threats by a margin. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Singh said India's defence sector is becoming more self-reliant. The Defence Minister also assured to give all support to Navy's all future endeavours.
हमारी नेवी आत्मनिर्भरता के क्षेत्र में इंडिजिनाइज्ड शिप और सबमरीन्स की मैन्युफैक्चरिंग आदि में पहले से बहुत आगे रही है. मेक इन इंडिया जैसे इनिशिएटिव्स के साथ जुड़ते हुए नेवी ने वर्ष 2014 में 75% AOAN तथा 66% कास्ट बेसिस कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इंडियन वेंडर्स को दिए हैं तथा लगभग 90% नेवल एम्यूनिशन का इंडिजिनाइजेशन हुआ है. इसके अतिरिक्त पिछले 5 फाइनेंशियल ईयर से नेवी के मॉडर्नाइजेशन बजट का 2/3 से अधिक भाग स्वदेशी खरीद पर ही खर्च किया गया है.
He said the Indo-Pacific region is playing a key role for the world.
इंडो पैसिफिक जहां से पूरी दुनिया भर के 2/3 से अधिक ऑयल शिपमेंट होता है, 1/3 बल्क कार्गो और आधे से अधिक कंटेनर ट्रैफिक गुजरते हैं. यानी यह क्षेत्र पूरी दुनिया के अपने हितों को प्राप्त करने में एक की रूट की भूमिका निभाता है. यानी इंडो पैसिफिक रीजन की महत्ता पूरे वर्ल्ड की इकोनॉमी के लिए महत्वपूर्ण हो जाती है. इसलिए इंडो पैसिफिक को ओपन, सेफ और सिक्योर रखना इंडियन नेवी का प्राइमरी ऑब्जेक्टिव हो जाता है.
The commissioning of INS Visakhapatnam reaffirms India's presence amongst an elite group of nations with the capability to design and build advanced warships. Captain Birendra Singh Bains, the commanding officer designate of INS Visakhapatnam, said the indigenous content is the highest today. He said a few more trials will continue and this will be one with the fleet.
The indigenous ship design and construction in India plays a pivotal role in growth of national economy and fulfillment of national security objectives, especially so when viewed in the context of consistent growth in sea trade, the need to safeguard strategic sea lanes and maritime frontier. The commissioning of INS Visakhapatnam comes at a very crucial time when, along with the persistent COVID-19 pandemic, we have a geopolitical environment which in a rapid flux, and we must respond adequately to safeguard our national interest.
The 6th edition of Indo-France Joint Military Exercise Ex-Shakti 2021 has commenced at the Military School of Draguignan, France. The Indian Army contingent is being represented by a composite team of 3 officers, 3 junior commissioned officers and 37 soldiers from a battalion of Gurkha Rifles and support arms. The training so far has focused on aspects of joint planning, mutual understanding of conduct of operations, and identification of coordination aspects required for jointly operating in a counter-terrorism environment under United Nations mandate.
The International Film Festival of India is one-stop platform for movie lovers and film buffs to learn more about movies from around the world. Over the years, cinephiles from across the country and even the world have thronged to the tourist hotbed Goa to enjoy the cinematic festivities. AIR spoke to one such movie buff who had made the trip all the way from Bangalore to be a part of the 52nd IFFI. Speaking to our correspondent, Mr. Ajay K.R. said that the homage being paid to stars from the Kannada movie industry who sadly lost their lives this year is a very moving gesture.
4 Kannada films in Indian Panorama section. Apart from that, recently one of brightest star from our Kannada film industry, Punit Rajkumar, and another good performer, Sanchari Vijay, both unfortunately we lost them. Their homage has been there this time. And we have got even Prana Kangal's Katha Sangama and Punit Rajkumar's award-winning performance, Bettada Who also screening in under 75 Amrita Mahotsav. And we have got Rajkumara under homage section of Punit Rajkumar. And Nanu Avanalla Avadu for Sanchari Vijay. This is more keep me excited as a Kannadiga to bring and come to this international platform. This give me full goosebump.
We have this report.
The inaugural ceremony of the India at 75 took place this morning, where 75 young aspiring filmmakers and film artists were facilitated. The 75 creative minds will get to interact with many renowned filmmakers and artists at IFFI and attend master classes. Today, these youngsters will attend master classes by Madhu Bhandarkar and Prasoon Joshi. The youngest candidate is just 16 years old, Aryan Khan from Bihar, who has been chosen for his skills in film direction. Indian Panorama section was also inaugurated this morning with the screening of Amy Barua's Dimasa language movie Same Core in the feature section and Ved the Visionary by Rajiv Prakash in the non-feature section. Bengali movie Aparajito, directed by Satyajit Ray 1956, was also shown to cine lovers. Other international movies such as The Restless, The Outsider, Absence, Luzzu, A Writer's Odyssey and Atlantid were also screened. With Pavan from Panji, Aarti Rana, AIR News.
World Television Day is being observed today. CEO Prasar Bharati Shashi Shekhar Vempati in a tweet said This World Television Day also makes a major transition to Doordarshan as we bid adieu to the era of analog terrestrial TV transmission and take steps towards direct-to-mobile terrestrial broadcasting. Director General of DD News and Doordarshan, Mayank Agrawal, has also extended his greetings on the occasion. He said, as India's public broadcaster, Doordarshan is proud to have led the movement of bringing the world to everyone's homes. In December 1996, the United Nations General Assembly proclaimed 21st November as World Television Day, commemorating the date on which the first World Television Forum was held in 1996.
In the first part of its series on Golden Jubilee of Bangladesh Liberation War, the News Services Division of All India Radio will bring a special program entitled The Valor of Indian Armed Forces and Bangladesh Liberation War in Spotlight today. The program can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:15 p.m. onwards. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase hallmarked gold jewellery. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jago Grahak Jago. As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events is being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
November 21st is the birth anniversary of the great freedom fighter, revolutionary and poet Kesari Singh Barhat. He was born on November 21st, 1872 in Shahpura, Rajasthan. Kesari wrote extensively on the theme of nationalism and independence. From 1891, Kesari Singh started working in the service of Maharana of Mewar along with his father, Krishna Singh Barhat.
Due to increasing political interference of the British in the administration, Kesari Singh left the service in 1893. He believed that by organizing common soldiers, Rajputs, Charans and other martial races of Rajputana to take up arms, Rajputana would become free from the British rule and this way revolution would spread to the rest of India.
He came into contact with revolutionaries like Ras Bihari Bose and Sachindranath Sanyal. Kesari Singh became a part of the Revolutionary Party. In 1910, Kesari Singh established Veer Bharat Sabha. He got involved in this work at the beginning of the World War I to prepare for the armed revolution. He sent a parcel of cartridges to the revolutionaries of Banaras and contacted the soldiers of princely states and the British Army.
Kesari Singh was arrested by the British government in Shahpura on 21st of March 1914 and was sent to Hazaribagh Central Jail in Bihar. After his release in April 1920, Kesari Singh went to Wardha, where he started a weekly newspaper, Rajasthan Kesari. In 1919, Thakur Kesari Singh Barhat met Gandhiji and on his advice established Rajasthan Seva Sangh at Wardha. Next year, it was shifted to Ajmer. Thakur Kesari Singh Barhat breathed his last on August the 14th, 1941.
21st of November is also the death anniversary of the revolutionary freedom fighter, journalist and legislator Deshbandhu Gupta. Born as Ratiram Gupta in 1901 in Panipat, he was given the title Deshbandhu by Swami Shraddhanand and Mahatma Gandhi. He was a member of the Arya Samaj.
During his teenage years, he would often take to the streets during protests. After joining the Indian National Congress, he grew closer to the top brass of the party, including Lala Lajpat Rai and Mahatma Gandhi. Lala Lajpat Rai assigned him the task of organizing Congress committees in Karnal. Gupta was a member of the Constituent Assembly. He was a staunch defender of the free press and an advocate for assembly status of the national capital of Delhi.
He started the Rozana Tej newspaper with Swami Shraddhanand. Together with veteran journalist Ramnath Goenka, they bought the Indian News Chronicle in Chennai. Gupta passed away on 21st of November 1951. After his death, Ramnath Goenka renamed the newspaper as the Indian Express.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
To commemorate the occasion as a Jan Utsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz is being conducted every Monday and Tuesday in Morning News. India Post has joined hands as the logistics partner with All India Radio News for the Amrit Mahotsav quiz. Listeners can send their responses to the question over WhatsApp on 88265 46262 or through email on amritmahotsavquiz@prasarbharati.gov.in. The next question of Amrit Mahotsav quiz will be shared with listeners tomorrow in Morning News.
The military government of Myanmar has rejected the unanimous resolution adopted by the Third Committee of the 76th United Nations General Assembly UNGA on the 17th November. In an official statement issued by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Myanmar on Saturday, the military government called the resolution politically motivated. It said that the resolution was based on unreliable sources and information. In T20 cricket, the third and final match of the series between India and New Zealand will be played at the Eden Gardens in Kolkata at 7 this evening. India have already gained an unassailable 2-0 lead after winning the second T20 in Ranchi on Friday. For New Zealand, it will be a chance of signing off from the series on a high note before shifting focus to the two-match test series. It is expected that India might field a new combination to test the reserve bench strength. The Employees Provident Fund Organization EPFO added around 15.41 lakh net subscribers during the month of September this year. Out of the total 15.41 lakh net subscribers, around 8.95 lakh new members have been registered for the first time and around 6.46 lakh net subscribers exited but rejoined EPFO by changing their jobs. The age group of 22 to 25 years registered the highest numbers of net enrollments with 4.12 lakh additions during September.
Now let us take a look at today's weather. The national capital Delhi has mist today. Maximum and minimum temperature will move between 11 and 27 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum temperature is 25 degrees, while the maximum is expected to be around 34 degrees Celsius. Chennai is expected to witness generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature will hover between 24 and 30 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have a mainly clear sky. The city observed minimum temperature of 21 and a maximum of around 31 degrees. Srinagar will have a mainly clear sky. The temperature will hover between -1 and 13 degrees Celsius. Jammu will also have a mainly clear sky with a minimum temperature at 9 and maximum at 26 degrees. Leh is having a mainly clear sky. The minimum and maximum temperatures are hovering between -9 and 8 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will have a mainly clear sky. The temperature will hover between -4 and 19 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have a mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 5 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 20 degrees. Hyderabad will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Temperature will hover between 21 and 29 degrees Celsius. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is participating in DGP and IGP conference in Lucknow. Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot to reshuffle his cabinet this evening. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh commissions INS Visakhapatnam at Naval Dockyard in Mumbai, says India's defence sector is becoming more self-reliant. Over 116 crore 50 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.3%. 52nd International Film Festival of India gets underway in Goa. In Myanmar, military government rejects unanimous resolution adopted by 3rd Committee of the 76th United Nations General Assembly. And in cricket, India to take on New Zealand in the 3rd and final T20 match in Kolkata this evening. And with that, we end the midday news.